guys, welcome back to this video. As you saw in my previous video, just did a bit of an unboxing on the Insta360 GO 2 action sports cam. As you recall, there you go. So in this video I just want to touch on a bit of the some of the design aspects in terms of the actual hardware and my thoughts on that and what I think. So this is the actual camera itself. Now it does have a bit of weight. That's probably because there's the magnet inside which clips it into the various mounts and whatnots. There's a warning on the back that says it dissipates heat and can get hot, so don't touch your skin. So that's a bit interesting. Yeah, it feels like a bit like a stone, you know, kind of like a pebble. It's a bit of weight to it, but it does have this kind of cap to protect the lens. The camera is waterproof, so the lens helps keep water out. You still need to kind of clean you got the contacts there for charging, you know, behind it. It's probably gonna be hard to see, but you can see the logo of the Insta360 this there, and that's actually a button. So that's like the button for kind of turning it on, and there's a vibrator like motor. So that's for like pairing things with the app or turning it off. So it has a nice buzzing sound. So this is quite nice. This is quite compact. As I said, you know, you compare that to say a OnePlus Buds case. You know, that almost looks like a little mini camcorder. You put them together, but you see it's almost the same height, and the thickness is almost as much as the case there, but obviously it's a lot smaller. And to further show you how small this is, I've got Spaceman Benny from the old Lego movie. So Lego minifigure size, and you can tell, you know, he's almost, the camera's just about a hair taller. Next up here I got the so this is the Insta360 the charging case. It's like a 3-in-1 really. It's a charge case. It acts as a remote control. It also is a kind of stand and I guess a cradle for the actual camera as well, which you can use. If you come around to the back here, we have a USB-C port for charging, which you can charge the actual camera. So these work they're like TWS earphone cases. So it's almost a similar size again with the buds. So it has a similar size and that kind of feel of like an earphone's case that you can put the camera. You know, the camera can go inside the case, and you charge up the case to then charge up the actual camera. The downside there, I guess, is you can't actually charge the camera directly, or you can't change the batteries in the camera. So if you're doing a long shoot, you have to take this out and charge it back in here. So that's a bit of a downside. But anyway, so this is the case. So I said it also has a like a standard mount for camera stands and the selfie stick and things like that. So you can use it as a way for mounting the camera and holding on to it. And there's another, I'm not sure this might be a microphone or some other kind of input there. And we also have on the bottom here, there's actually a kickstand, which is the tripod. So I'll show you in a minute, and that's how that functions. So if you open this up, again, this is plastic. It does have look, you can squeeze those in. It's quite thin there. All right, it has a plastic feeling of like a toy, if you like a transformer or something, that kind of plastic. So I'm not sure that's going to be good in the long term. I mean, it's probably fine right now, and it seems solid. It seems good, but I wonder again, as a sports camera, long term, is that going to be really, is that going to scratch easily? Is it going to break? If you drop on the ground, will it break or something snap? So I do have concerns on that. There's a charger you can see for the camera. So that would just go, it goes in there. It does have a nice magnet, so it's quite snug. It doesn't look like it's going to coming out. So that would charge it, and then plus you can hold it to take video. It's got some basic screen and remote control and some buttons. So again, you can use that for, so you could have the actual camera because it's wireless as well. I could do that and then kind of press a button to like take a photo or clip recording and do some shots. That's a neat function as well. It's got metal, that's just a metal hinge there. There's a activity light. It's what I use for charging and status and stuff on the back. Yeah, and then the stand, we can plug these little bits up here, and that gives it the legs, and so you can put it on the table and have it as like a little desk. Oops, I probably didn't fold it out. So there you go. So you can use it as a desk kind of selfie cam, or position it somewhere for doing video logging and all that. So that's a neat little function as well too. Now my only concern again is just the build quality. Is these little stand legs. All right, there's a very tiny peg, and those peg into here. When you're closing it down, they peg into there. Right, you can see that little, see the peg. Right, that sticks in and that keeps it in there. Now those are very tiny, and I wonder, you could, if you drop this, you might break those pegs, and therefore these are gonna flip around. These are a bit, I won't say they're loose, but they're not super tight or anything. And again, if you look inside, it's just a plastic little peg hinge there with that one underneath plastic. So again, these seem very flimsy to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get broken easily and you lost the tripod thing. I think it'd be a lot nicer if this was maybe metal or something, or maybe it had a metal pin, at least a metal rod, something around it as a stronger, support construction. Again, for the money, £300 for a bunch of plastic that may break. It's a small detail, I know, but you're doing cool stuff, and then the last thing you want to do is like put it down and it breaks on you or something. So I'm not too sure about that. One little Easter egg, and I don't know if there's an Easter egg, but I kind of noticed it, is if I close this down and we open up the stand again, and it's like a little rabbit. It looks like a rabbit. So, I don't know if that's an intentional design or it's just by chance. I mean, I'm sure there's some little thought went into this. Maybe some designer likes rabbits. So, but I thought it was kind of neat because the charging case, you got this got a little dent, and you can actually keep that all together in one kind of carry-all, and then boom, you got your camera. The USB cable, I'm not going to say much about that because it's a USB-C cable, so there's nothing much to say about that. These are all standards. So I'm going to put that aside. This is the clip mount. This is pretty basic. It's plastic again. It seems stable enough. What it is, the idea of this is to kind of clip it onto maybe your hat or something, or some other object. Notebook, for example, and you could so it just slides on and it clips on, like so. It does have a kind of a rubbery grip base on it, so it would kind of, it's not gonna like slide around. Maybe if it's on your desk or something, or on your hat or something. And again, there's actually only there's only one right way to put this in, because you notice the magnets are quite strong so that's kind of like against the poles, so it's going to pop out. So it has to be the other way around, and then it snaps in. And again, the magnets are quite strong. It doesn't come out. Shake. And it does have a ratchet kind of hinge on it, so you can ratchet it down and get certain angles. So if it was like on your hat, you can tilt it. So this is kind of nice, and again, it's basic plastic. There's a bit of sprue marking there, or it's probably come off the mold. So again, nothing wrong with this. This is probably fine because it's just like a light hinge on your hat or something. The only thing, again, that's maybe a concern, it's probably hard to see here, is the hinges. There's a bit you can kind of see there. The hinges are like ratchet joints. So if you're familiar with kind of like a action figure, like toys, robot toys and things like Transformers, where the elbows and arms, sometimes they have these ratchet joints that click as you turn them. Nothing wrong with them, but sometimes, you know, the ratchet joints are like two kind of teeth gears that mesh together as you're clicking. So, you know, potentially, again, depending on the plastic, you know, if it's not that good, you know, there's a potential there that maybe the teeth break off or they get worn down, and therefore what is right in nicely tight, clicky ratchets, once the teeth go, it'll become loose and floppy and it'll just go, you know, roll down. So hopefully, I hope that won't happen. It doesn't break. We shall see. But again, being an action camera, we got this is the pivot stand, and basically, yeah, allows you to see. This is actually a bit thicker plastic, funny enough, than the charging case, so it doesn't bend as much. You can see it's a bit thicker, but again, it's the same. It's the overall same kind of plastic. So it's not cheap. It's just not very expensive either. It's not very, you know, it's not metal and higher quality, maybe construction, maybe you think. But it does the job, I guess. I just hope this doesn't break or crack or anything like that when using it. So yeah, so that's this is the place for the camera. Again, it snaps in. It's magnets, so that won't come off. And this is kind of interesting because it does have a strap, so you can put it around your wrist. And you know, so one idea of this is like you could use this if you're swimming or like in a pool. You know, you could just hold it while you're swimming and take a video of some fish or something. So that's kind of nice. Well, you can just hold it in your hand. Maybe if you're hiking or doing something as a quick, you want to vivid, you know, make some interesting angles as well for photography or filming. That'd be neat. And having the strap is handy because if you drop it, at least you're not going to lose the camera. So that's a nice touch on the strap, like that. And yeah, you can pivot up, and it's got quite a long range of motion for the pivot. Turning it around and up and down, almost 360s there on the pivot. So that's nice, and it does slide out. So you slide it out, and it does give you some instructions about kind of cleaning and wetting it and stuff to use. And I believe this is like a super suction mount. Stick this onto you know, your car or something, or you can stick it, you know, maybe on a shelf up and have different angle shots if you're like vlogging and stuff. So that'd be kind of interesting. So I'll be curious to see how well this holds up. And because it slides in there, I guess that just gives it like a little bit of there's a bit of a gap as well there. So it gives it space to, you know, kind of dry off and not be used. So I like that. This is kind of nice. A nice little, you know, a little accessory as well. The magic pendant, the medallion. So this is like the necklace. So it does have it's a kind of braided cable, so nothing to say about that. It has this nice kind of rubber, don't you got like a clasp thing to adjusting the length. So it basically is on two ends, and you can kind of just like, you can easily just tie it to make it like, not tie it, but you can kind of pull them apart, and that will make it smaller, you know, depending on your neck size. And it's got the logos, got the Insta360 logos on there, so that's quite nice. And then it comes around inside. So I'm not sure how this is actually. This is the same kind of plastic again, but I mean, it's just like a medallion thing, so it's quite flat. So I don't think it's not going to be. You won't maybe break this too much, and it's going to be around your neck. So this is probably fine because it's not going to get like lots of heavy use, I imagine, in this case. I'm not sure that's just inside. It probably around a peg or something inside of it, and there's like a magnet. And then the idea is you put the kind of oval shape bit outside on your body. So when you're wearing it, it's going to be this way facing out, and then you would put the camera. So you'd normally have a shirt, so you'd have it, you know, like that, and you would have it around your neck, like so, and you can kind of just like live blogging or different angles and interesting things. Invisible selfie stick, which I was joking when I unboxed this. you know, it was visible. It's a visible selfie stick. You can see it. You know, I'm not trying to trick you. It's here. It's in my hands. But why is it called the invisible selfie stick? So I did a bit of look on the website, and apparently some of the other models of the Insta360 cameras, I think there's one called the X2 or something, 360 X2. It's if you're using the selfie stick and you're taking a video, I think the software is clever to somehow know you got this particular selfie stick, and it will actually like cut it out of the frame. So when you see your final shot, you don't actually see the selfie stick. So I guess that's probably why it's called the invisible, you know, selfie stick. Which is actually a neat idea. It must be an idea. It's probably using some AI or something, algorithms to then actually, you know, kind of magically erase the stick from the video, the shot. Although looking on the actual website, from what I can tell, that actual function doesn't apply for the actual Go 2. So although we have the selfie stick, and that's great for selfie, you know, videoing and just extension and all that, which is nice. But in terms of the invisible aspect, it seems it's not supported for this camera. I'm not sure what the reasons are. I think the Neo has like an extra camera, so there's two cameras. So maybe it needs an extra camera to do some extra magic, and because this only has one lens, yeah, it can't do that. So though it is an invisible selfie stick, we don't actually get that functionality with this particular camera. Although it's actually quite nice. I quite like it because it's a nice, you know, kind of nice. It has a good build. Like this is metal, kind of more solid around it, and all this bit is rubber, so it has a rubber texture, so it's good for holding. You won't like really slip in your hand if your palms are sweaty and whatnot. So I like that. So I kind of wish like some of the, you know, the mounts and stuff were actually more like this make. It'd be nice. And it's got a standard kind of mount thread for like camera mounts and stuff, so you can screw this onto the case bit, and if you pop that open and you put the camera inside, okay, it's thicker than like a mobile phone, but then because you got the stick, it's kind of easier to slide it around, so you could probably do some dramatic shots, or you can also turn the case, you know, make it like towards yourself, hey, what's up, you know. And it does extend. Actually, it's got a nice, it's kind of metal as well inside, so it does extend a lot. It was about like, about 4, so I mean that's going to the back of my room here. So again, as you can see, it's quite, you know, there's like 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, 4 sections, 5, 6 sections. So it's about maybe, I'd guess it's probably 1 meter long, right, when it's fully extended. But it gives you a nice. So all in all, you know, some kind of nice things. The only thing I guess I would say, biggest concern is these hinges and this stand thing. I think they may break. They're a bit flimsy. You know, just the overall plasticiness, I guess, of the product for the money seems a bit. I don't know. I won't say. I think it could be better. You know, it just seems a bit. You know, there's like seams there, the things, and I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting. One thing, by the way, as well, they say the camera itself is IPX8, I think it is, for waterproofing, so you can put it in the water, which is neat and cool. But the case is not, so you can't use the case. Don't put the case in the water. So if you have it like this, don't, you know, dunk it into a glass of water or something. It's not gonna work. So only the camera is waterproof, not the case. So that's kind of like a bit disappointing, because it'd be nice if this was waterproof too, because you may want to put that in there, and then maybe you're outside in the rain and you're doing some more control shots. I don't know, you know. So it'd be nice if that had that protection. Again, it's an action cam. You're paying £320. I mean, why not just go the whole tilt? You know, give me everything. Those are your minor things, right? But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and thought it was useful.